Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Doug Mystic on Board Game Geek, Doug Herring on YouTube, bringing you the next episode of Nemo's War, where I am at war with my own ability to make corrections. So, to get started, I'm going to first make some corrections. Now, before we get rolling into that and all that good stuff, I do want to say that this was my first time playing through this game. I saw it years ago in the first edition. So, bear with me on that, but I do think I'm giving you a good gist of the game and how it works. We're about to head into Act 2, or Chapter 2, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to continue on our adventure. But again, first I have to make some corrections, so here we go. Okay, so as you saw, there were corrections made on the little list there. You can go back and pause it if you want to see what those are specifically. But I'm going to start right here very quickly with our salvage. I obviously took too much, and so we're gonna correct that. And I kind of kept these in order. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give up the arcane library, which cost us 2 salvage because I would not have had it, and I would have had to sink a whole bunch of ships. But I could have gotten to the point where I guess I got the steam torpedoes. I don't know. I understand the rule behind it. You can, once you make a bold attack, you take salvage. Then that's the end of your turn. But that means it would take a long time to get some upgrades, which I guess it's supposed to. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna put some of these ships in the North Atlantic that I took. I think I killed 3 of them, or maybe it was 4. It's 4. And I'm going to leave 1 for salvage because I did take some salvage. So we're going to do that. And it's not fully going to correct it, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's just a game. But I do want to make sure I'm trying to do it as right as possible and showing you the right way to do it as well. So there you go. The next thing is when I killed the Cerberus here in this space that attacked me. I wasn't supposed to get rid of the ship token that was there. That's an easy one to fix, not a big deal. Also, you saw that I did give up the arcane library, which I did use, but that's okay. It was just +1. I would have made it anyway on the roll that I had, if I'm not mistaken. And then this one I'm not going to try to correct, but the steam torpedoes are an attack. They do count as an attack, even though there's some things in the rules that I don't know. You got to read all the rules back a couple of times to make sure you get it right because they're in different places in the rules. But it does count as attack. So when next time we go, I gotta have to remember that. I'm not going to change anything now, but the warships do get to attack us back is the point. So when I use the steam torpedo, even though I'm using it once, if I do attack a warship with that, it is going to attack me back. Okay. There was one other minor thing. Oh, I think also if you kill multiple ships, you're supposed to take a +1. I don't like fiddly rules. I'm going to tell you that right. The one thing I don't like is fiddly rules. So if you print on here that you're going to take 2, and I keep calling it reputation, but it's notoriety, then that's what it should be. It shouldn't be 2 + 1 + 1 + 1. So anyway, from what I understand is if you kill multiple ships, you're supposed to take an extra notoriety. I'm not sure that I see that in here, but I've tried to flip through the rules and find it, but they've set it online. So I'm going to run with that for future attacks if I do decide to go after a bunch of ships, but I probably won't, because my goal was to get some upgrades and then continue to search for treasures. And a lot of people are saying I'm being way overzealous in the attacks to go for this explore motive, and I may have to change my motive later on. But we do get less of a bonus. I don't see how it hurts us to bring down the warships, except for our notoriety goes up. And I'm trying to search for wonders. And maybe I'm not seeing this, but how else, guys, do I discover wonders without searching for treasure? I got 1 wonder here. Wonders is the thing that pays us out the most on Explore. And so I'm trying to do a lot of exploring and searching for treasures. I guess I should be doing more adventures. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna try to do some more adventures but it says right here that that's not the highest payout thing. It says adventure cards are +0, where treasures are +1. Well, that's what I'm doing, going after treasures and wonders. I think maybe the wonders they're talking about are in here, even though this is a wonder. But maybe I should do more adventuring. We'll have to see. So let's get started, and by all means, if you know this information, by all means share it. I appreciate the feedback and the corrections and all that. It helps people to play better than me, which is always the goals of these things, especially when I do these kind of blind like playthroughs where I've read the rules, I may have done a little testing, but I haven't played through because I want to give you the experience of a new play, and that could cause some mistakes. So common mistakes, one of the things I've heard is the steam torpedoes and the bold attack action. A lot of people are getting that wrong out of the rules, so this is a good chance to see how to correct that. All right, well, let's get started. So here we are. We're going to start with our next, and we already know that this adventure card is Act 2 of the our set out of 3. We got to go through 3 acts, and this is the first intermission, which we took. And I'm going to read the story too. It says, "I was admiring the magnificent aspect of the ocean when Captain Nemo appeared. He did not seem to be aware of my presence, and began a series of astronomical observations. Then, when he had finished, he went and leant on the cage of the watchlight and gazed abstractedly on the ocean." Okay, that's our intermission. And then it says, "Add the dark yellow ships to the reinforcement bag," which we'll do in a second, "of the ship draw pool and continue play." And now we're going to roll 2 white dice and a black die. So instead of rolling the 2 white dice we've been rolling, we're going to add a black die to our roll for ship placement, which means more ships are going to come out. So let's go add those yellow ships to the bag. As you know, because of our reputation, we already added some other ships. So I got to, our notoriety rather, so I got to slow that down. These are the yellow ships. They come off of here. It says first intermission. You put them in there. These are what they call the dark yellow ships. They are warships. I'm going to mix them up. So now we got a lot of new ships in here we're going to have to deal with if we're fighting ships. And one of the things I think I may be thinking of incorrectly in how to play the game, not wrong rule, but just my thought process on it, is that I wanted to try and keep these tokens from building up, because then they start turning into ships and giving us penalties. So I thought I would have to keep these kind of clear. Maybe that's a mistake in the Explorer mode of the game. I'm not sure. Might be a little late because I've added so many ships to the bag, but that's okay. We'll keep going. So anyway, that was our Act 2, and then it says and continue play with the next card. So we're going to draw the next adventure card and see what we get. Here it is. Let's see. It's the whales. It's a test. And it says, "Trying to crush the Nautilus with their sheer mass. Through the windows you could see the enormous mouth paved with teeth, their fearsome eyes." So these are big whales. They look like, I guess, gray whales or something. So they're probably going to try and bring us down. We're going to have to make a test of 9. We can use crew and hull. If we pass the test, we collect +2 treasures or gain 1 crew. Well, we know what we're going to do there. So let's go to the dice bowl and roll that. We are, in fact, going to wager our crew, because we've been doing really well with that. And hopefully my dice rolls continue. I hope that Pencil Polly didn't ruin my streak by commenting on my awesome dice rolls. It's probably the best dice rolls I've ever had. I could, in fact, also do this, but I think I'm not. I'm just going to go with the +3. Let's start there. Well, I need a 9. Let's see what we get. A 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did it. Yes, exactly. Okay, we passed this test. That is fantastic. So we get to pass. I'm going to collect the 2 treasures and not gain the crew, because the crew is fine. So I'm going to put this in the pass pile, which goes right there, and then you can see I'm going to recover the crew because I didn't take them, and then I didn't have to sacrifice them because I succeeded. And I'm going to draw 2 treasures out of the bag. It doesn't say place +2 treasures. It says +2 treasures. So I'm going to assume that I collect them. It would make sense. So this one's just worth 4 victory points. That's pretty good. I'll take that. And that counts as a treasure, so again, there's no bonus for it. We get +1, so it was going to be worth 5. And then we get a X and draw 2 treasure tokens. Wow, that's pretty cool. I think we might end up using that one up because it doesn't do anything else. So let me go back to the board. For the moment, we're going to put these back in here. I'm going to think about this X, this one here, the treasure one. So I don't see, I don't think this requires an action. I don't think this says X and draw 2, so we can remove this from the game to draw 2 treasure tokens. Why wouldn't we do that? I'm trying to see. I can't think of that as, I'm looking in the terms and everything, and X just means you remove it from the game. That's what X means. And I'm trying to determine on treasures. I'm looking through the book just to try and make sure. I'm sure somebody will tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going to draw the 2 treasures. I'm going to put them up higher on the tableau there. So on the collected treasure space, in case I'm mistaken about that and I get corrected, I know which ones I took out. So we're going to do that. So I discarded that one, X for gaining 2 more treasure. Let's see what we get. That's a pretty good thing to take out. So this, oh, another wonder. That is fantastic. The Lost Mayan City. So we're going to get that. So we have the city of combat, and I'm put that one up a little farther just so I can keep track of it. And ooh, another one, the Abyss. So these are the ones we really want to collect. They're worth quite a bit more points to us. So that was a pretty good little turn now. Now we get to go to our placement phase. Let's do that. So now remember, for our placement phase, we're adding this black die in, but we're only going to count the 2 white dice for our actions. So let's see what we get. Well, so we get 2 actions. And we're going to place on 4, 5, and 6. So let's go do that. So far we're okay. We got 4, 5, and we don't have any space in 6, so we can. This means that we have adjacency. It also means we can put it here. So I think we're going to put that in the Cape of Good Hope, and that is going to be our turn. Then we're going to get 2 actions. I held one over, so we have 3 total actions this turn. So I believe, and we're going to collect treasures. I think. I believe we have these unrevealed ships. Yeah, let's do that. Let's move. So for 1 action, putting us down to 2, we're going to move the Nautilus. And I think we're going to move the... Oh, wait. I'm going to have to move to the North Atlantic because I want to get that treasure. I don't want it to move too... Well, I have our hydro drive. I can actually move 2. So let's do this. We haven't been to the east... We haven't spent much time in the Eastern Pacific. Let's move here. We're going to move down to here for 1, here for 2. Now, it's only 1 action, though, because of our hydro drive. And then we're going to seek to collect this treasure. Again, a search action takes 1 of our actions, so we're going to be down to 1, and I'm going to wager our crew to put us to use 3, gain a +3 on the roll, and then I'm going to roll some dice. Let's get rid of this one. We need to roll a, well, we want to roll an 8 or better. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We rolled a 10, so we did really well in the search. It's not actually going to increase our notoriety this time. But we are running out of treasures out on the board, aren't we? So let's get the treasure bag out. We're going to see what we collect. What do we get? We get a 4-point treasure. Okay, well, that is going in our pool. We're collecting quite a bit of treasures. We'll see how those add up at the end of the game. And that's going to leave us with 1 more action, and I think we'll stop there because I keep thinking we're going to have a lull turn eventually. I could, well, what else could I do? If I repair... See, I have this card that I need to use to repair. It says, at the end, pass and score the victory points, the negative victory points this card, unless I do this, which is to remove this card or fail it, you must perform a successful repair action and forgo 1 hull gain from doing so. So I'm tempted to do that because our hull's actually in fine shape, but right now repair action would cost us 2, and I only have 1 action left. So what I might do is I could use our steam torpedoes on a ship there, and gain 1. Gain 1 in the Eastern Pacific so I can get those points, and maybe get some scrap so I can actually get my arcane library back in play. But people seem to be uptight with me about attacking these ships. Well, anyway, let's do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna play our steam torpedoes right there. If it is a warship, I guess it does get to attack back because the Nautilus actually doesn't have any weapons on it. It actually surfaces to do all these things. So let's see what we get. Hopefully we don't get a warship. Oh man, lucky us, we did not. We get the General Grant. It's a freighter. And that is going to go right here. And then we're going to have to roll a 5 or better on 2 dice to destroy the ship. And we'll take it from there. The reason I'm doing this is it doesn't require an action. It's just something we can do. Obviously, yeah, we made it easily, no problem. So we're going to take the General Grant, and that's in the Eastern Pacific, where I'm going to take it for scrap. And we're going to put that there instead of taking it. Now, I could attack. I still have an action. That was our steam torpedoes, but I still have an action. I could do a stalk attack and try and get a ship into the Eastern Pacific. It's with my 1 action, but the one time I use that last action, I'm going to end up with a lull turn and won't have any actions. That's what's going to happen. So I think we're going to pause there. We're going to end it there, and we're going to go on to our next turn, which will keep me 1 action in reserve in case we do roll a lull turn, which will make my ability to use this card a little cheaper. Okay, so let's draw the next adventure card in our stack here. It says the Korea Incident. All right. We don't want an incident in Korea. We already know that we have one in modern times today. So Captain Nemo glowered at Ned for his remarks in favor of Americans and growled. Even now, Mr. Land, the Americans desire to force open trade with the reclusive Koreans, and, just as they did in Japan 15 years ago, the Americans are sending a war fleet to articulate their interests. Okay, well, he doesn't like this. This is the key. It says, when the Nautilus is in the Western Pacific, which we're not, you may intervene on Korea's behalf and make a test. So that's going to go into our keep pile, and then we're going to go move on to our placement phase. Okay, let's see what we get. All right, well, hey, we got our null turn, didn't we? All right, so we're going to place in 4 and 5, and we have a lull turn, rather. We're going to go through that sequence of events. So it's quite possible that I should be inciting riots around 2, but again, I'm in Explorer mode, so I don't know what the effect of that would be. Anyway, 4 is full, so we're going to have to place somewhere else. I'm going to place it in the North Atlantic up here, and then the other, and 4 again, full, so I got to place it somewhere else as well. I'll put it again in the North Atlantic, so we will put 2 tokens up there. Okay, now we get to take our lull turn. So at the beginning of the lull turn, we did that. So now we get to place a treasure available in the space that does not that we just rolled, which is 4. So we're going to get to do that. That is good. We're going to check uprising cubes. We don't have to worry about that. And then we're going to go to our action phase, where we have 1 action to rest, repair, refit, adventure. I could adventure. I mean, we could knock the adventure cost down to 1 and do an adventure card, which would also give us another treasure. I still think I'm going to get another chance at some point to get rid of this repair card. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to adventure. So for 1 action, leaving us with 0, we're going to first get this treasure token, which means you're going to get to draw another treasure from the bag, because that was stockpiled there on the adventures deck. And I don't remember, do you place a treasure token on the doubles, ocean, and on the adventure deck? So we actually had 2 treasures on the adventure deck. We're going to get to draw 2 treasures. And maybe that's a good way to get additional treasures. But what do we get? We get a retained, or we can exit out of the game for an extra action, or keep for 2, and we got a 2 victory points. So those are the 2 that we got. And you know, I got a lot of ones for extra actions and rerolls, and I also have 1 to reveal and upgrade. I don't know if I'm going to do that or keep that for points yet. I haven't decided, but I do think that we might use that as an. You know, we can spend one of those, get the extra action to get rid of that negative 8-point card in our pile. But first, we're going to draw an adventure card. Let's see what we get. Okay, it says a pearl worth 10 million. This is a keep. It gives us science points and whatever that one is. That is adventure card points. It's a keeper. When in the Indian Ocean, for 1 action, we may make a test. If we pass, we collect 3 treasures. If we fail, we gain 1 notoriety, and at the game's end, pass if unused, and that would give us those points. But I think we're going to try and do that at some point. We're getting quite a few keeper cards in there. Okay. Now, oh, you know what? I forgot to place one of these. Is in 5, and 5 is full too. In fact, that would have had to go in the South Atlantic. The reason I had to do that is because the black die was a 5. I've almost spaced out on that one. All right. It says actually only for the white dice, so that was right. Okay. All right. Next up, we did our adventure. Now I think I'm going to burn. I have 2 of these. They're both worth 2 points. So I'm going to burn this one to gain an extra action, and we're going to do this. We're going to get rid of this card. So it says we're going to make. It's going to have us make a repair action right now. What I actually burned this token for was to do a repair action. And we're going to do that, and I'm going to, again, for a repair action, I can exert Nemo or crew. I'm going to exert our crew, so I get +3 again. I've had really good luck with that. And we're going to roll the dice, see what we get. Now this could result in us not actually repairing anything, but, oh man, I was worried. I saw that too. So 7, that's going to give us a 10. Man, I'm really rolling well. So that on the repair, that gives us gain 1 hull. But we want to fail this card. So it says, to remove this card, you must perform a successful repair action and forego 1 hull gain from doing so. So we're just going to fail this now, which means it goes here and we don't have to worry about it later in the game. That's going to end this lull turn now. So we're going to go to our next turn and draw our next adventure card. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, a test. Jaws wide open. I've seen this one in some other videos. The shark returned when I saw Captain Nemo rise suddenly, dagger in hand, ready to fight the monster. With wonderful quickness, he buried his dagger deep into its side. A terrible combat ensued. So we're going to have to test 8. We can wager Nemo, which we'll do. So I'm definitely going to wager Nemo. He's perfectly healthy. So that's going to give us +2. If we pass, we can pass or fail and gain 1 Nemo, or fail and lose 1 Nemo. So we're going to hopefully pass. I don't know why you want to... Oh, we can just pass, or we can fail and gain a Nemo, but we lose the card, the 2 points. Let's go do that. So again, we need an 8. We've got a +2. Oh man, look at that. Wow, blew it away. So do I want to keep it for the points? I think we're fine because I'm going to recover Nemo, so we don't need to do that. So we're going to keep this. We're going to pass it, which means it goes into here, and we recover that because we didn't use it. And now we get to go take our placement phase and get our actions. Okay, let's roll, see what we get. All right, well, we got, wow, we're going to have 1 action. Oh, actually, I take it back. We're going to have 3 actions. Okay, so we have 3 actions, and we're going to place on 3, 5, and 6. This could be problematic for us. So we're up to 3 actions. We're going to place on 3, 5, and 6. So we got, well, 3 is not full. Okay, 5 is not full, but 6 is. However, we can wrap it around and place it over here in the open space in the Western Pacific. But now our board is full of ships. We've got ships everywhere and 3 actions to go play around with. So let me see. We have that keep card with the Indian Ocean for that we can get 3 treasures on. Then we have the Korean island one. We are close to the Indian Ocean. It would take us more than 2 moves to get there. So I don't think we want to waste that many actions. But we'll start heading that way. Yeah, we can start to move that direction. So I think for now, the other one is we can go to the Western Pacific. So we're going to do that. We're going to move. So that's going to take one of our 3 actions. We're going to go from here to the Western Pacific, where we are going to make a test. It doesn't say that I have to use an action. It just says when the Nautilus is in the Western Pacific, you may intervene. Test. Well, let me check that out. This testing does not require. I don't believe it requires an action. Hold on. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to. It doesn't. I don't think this requires an action. So we're going to test the Korean incident. It's an 11. We can use Nautilus and crew, and I think we're going to do both because that's a pretty big test. So that's going to give us +3. That'll give us +4. Hopefully we succeed. That would be really bad if we don't on this one. But let's go to the dice bowl. Okay, we need to make it 11. Oh, we did not. 4, 5. So 6, 7, 8, 9. We got a 9. We failed this. So we failed. We're going to lose 2 hull or gain +4 notoriety. So we're going to lose not only 2 hull, we're also going to lose 1 more of something. Either the hull or... Because we're going to take the lowest die. If it was a 1, we'd lose 1. If it was a 2 or better, we lose 2. So let's go back to the board. Okay, so we just took a beating because we lost that to there, and then we go down to here, plus we lose this to here. We go down to here, and then we go 2 more because of the card itself. So we failed that incident and took a beating. We're going to have to get some repairs in on our hull. And also, our crew is down to fit. We want to get them back because that +3 bonus is important. Anyway, now we're going to move on to our actions. So I think for our next action, we have 2 left. I don't want to repair. Don't want to do any of that. I think we can... well, I can use my steam torpedoes. See, I'm more reluctant rather to use those now because I'm worried about getting attacked, especially with our hull in its current condition. But all right, let's do this. We are going to take 1 action, and we're going to search for this treasure token. Now let's we are going to wager our crew, and on a search we can wager any 1 ship resource. So we're going to wager our crew for 2. There. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh no, I am starting to fail. There's 3. That's going to be a 5. That is bad for us. That means we actually failed. You can see on a search action we can lose 1 crew or 1 hull. So here's where we're going to get into trouble. We lose the 1 crew because our lower die was 1. We also lose. I think we're just going to. Well, we'll take 1 more crew. We're going to have to bring that back up, though, aren't we? So that was our search action. We failed, which was bad, so we lost a couple of things there. Oh, man, wow. Okay. Alright, so that failed. Do we do it again? I don't think so. I think we're going to... Gosh, I think I'm going to leave... I'm going to keep that extra action point so we can do some repairs and stuff next turn. So we're going to end it there. We're going to draw our next card. Let's see what we get. The Gulfstream. It's a keep card. There's a lot of keep cards. 10 days went by in this way. It was early on May 1st that the Nautilus openly resumed its northbound course. Sorry, there you go. After raising the Bahamas at the mouth of the old Bahama Channel, we then went with the current of the sea's greatest river, which has its own banks, fish, and temperature. I mean the Gulf Stream. So, sorry, the text is small, so it's kind of hard for me to read it away from the camera like that. Keep. When the Nautilus is in the South Atlantic, which we're not, you may pass as a free action and move to any other ocean except the European seas and Arctic Ocean. At the end, at game's end, fail if unused. Okay, so we got that too. That was helpful. Let's go roll for our placement phase. Okay, what do we get? Well, we're going to get 2 actions, and we're going to place in 3, 5, and 6. Okay, so our first placement in 3, we can't place anything there, so we're going to go here. 5, I think we're out of luck. I think we're going to reveal a ship. There's really nowhere else for it to go. Everything's full. So if you look at placement priority, which is up over here, it says a hidden ship and adjacent, reveal a hidden ship in that or adjacent ocean. So if we cannot place a hidden ship in adjacent ocean, then we're going to reveal one. So we're going to reveal this one. We're going to get the ship bag out and see what's in the European seas to deal with. Well, good news is it is not a warship. It is the Zealand. A passenger ship is floating around in the European seas. And then we also have a 6. Now the 6, I think, also is full in every direction. There's nowhere for it to go. Yep, that is true, because even over here in the South Pacific and the Pacific, Western Pacific, it's full. So we are going to reveal a ship there. And this is what I was wondering about. I'm starting to get concerned about this because I'm not taking these out. So we are going to take one out of the Indian Ocean, and the place we need to go to, by the way. And in there we're going to get a what? Another non-warship. That's interesting. The Syria. Oh, and this one gives us +1 crew. It's a slaver, so we want to go there and take out that slaver, free the slaves, and take them as crew. That will be helpful to us. And we're going to do that for sure, because we want to head to the Indian Ocean anyway. Okay, and then we're going to take... Oh, that was the 3, 5, and 6. So we did do all of that. Now we're going to get our actions, which are going to be 2, which puts us up to 3, and then we're going to start going. So, action number 1 is going to be a move. We're going to pop on down to the Indian Ocean. For our free action, we are going to attack the Syria slaver with our torpedoes. We're going to need to roll 5 on 2 dice. Here we go. Yeah, no problem. We rolled a 6. Now, as I understand it, if I take this as salvage, I will not gain the crew. So this is going to go in the Indian Ocean down here instead. It does not give us any notoriety, but it is going to go down there, and I'm going to get the crew bonus from that, which will put us back up to fit +2. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. And we're still in the Indian Ocean, where we have a couple other things we can do. I think the other one we want to do is this one, a pearl worth 10 million. If we pass, man, we can fail it to collect 3 treasure. So we're going to do that while we're there in the Indian Ocean. I can wager crew. So we are going to wager crew for a +2. I also got to remember that I have a treasure I can give up for a reroll. I'd like to keep it, but I can use it. So let's do that. I needed 10, but I'm only getting a +2. Well, I did it. So 9, I got to 11. I did succeed. I am going to fail it to get 3 treasures. Okay, here's the treasure bag. Let's see what we get here. I'm going to get 3 of them. That is awesome. It doesn't say place 3 treasures. It says gain. You collect 3 treasures. So a 5-pointer. That is awesome. A 3-pointer. And I'm going to gain 1 more. Boom, and a 2-pointer. Well, those are, I'll take them. They're good. And I'm going to get +1 for each of those at the end of the game when we score. So that's not a terrible thing. And that was not an action. That was just took care of that card. We are now in the Indian Ocean. I have 2 actions left. And I might do a rest action, believe it or not. I got to set my crew back to where it was. A rest action will cost me 2. but I can either rest or repair. I'm not sure which one I want to do first. Or I can try and collect that treasure, but I'd really like to get our crew up again. Interestingly enough, I can wager Nemo or Hull. I got plenty of Nemo. So I think we're actually going to spend our 2 actions to rest. I am going to use Nemo to do that. He's going to help the crew rest, and we're going to go roll our dice. Okay, let's see what we get. A 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is not going to... That's an 8, right? So an 8 on a rest, what does that do? We're going to gain a crew, but we're going to get a notoriety. I don't think I want to re-roll that. There are no warships in our area, so we don't take a hit for that. We can get X for any one treasure spent. You know, I could spend a treasure. So right now we have a 6 and 8 total. Let me show you the table. Okay, you can see that 8 is suspected. We rested, but we were spotted or something. Now when you burn a treasure, you get the victory points in points. I can get that up to a 9 or a 10 if I do something that gives me 3. That would give us true crew back. Now that would be very valuable. So I think I'm going to do it, guys. I think I'm going to give up this 3-point treasure. And basically it says, you can see right here under rest, plus X for any one spent treasure token VP value. So the VP value is 3. That'll put us up to 10. Recruit sailors, gain 2 crew. Which means we're going to go all the way back up to fresh here, which is fantastic. So we are back to fresh with our crew. And I think while we're at that, I am then going to... I guess I got these ones that can give me actions, but I think I'm going to keep them for right now. I'm just going to... That is actually going to use... that rest action used everything we had. So we are at 0 actions, and that is going to end our turn this turn, but we did successfully regain a bunch of crew. Next thing I got to do is try and repair. Hopefully we don't have a lull turn next turn, but I do have tokens that can give me actions. So we're going to end it there. We're going to end there with that turn. We're going to draw a new card. Okay, this is a test. Aeronax's determination. Okay, it says, for 7 months we've been aboard your vessel, and I ask you today, in the name of my companions as well as myself, if you intend to keep us here forever. Professor Aeronax, Captain Nemo said, I'll answer you today just as I did 7 months ago. Whoever boards the Nautilus must never leave. So we can test. It's 11. We can wager Nemo and crew, which by the way, I still have my Nemo. I gotta forget that I keep forgetting that I do have crew that I could burn to get things done. I got lots of victory points from them still. But it says pass and immediately return 1 previously sacrificed character. Okay, well, I don't have 1 sacrificed. I may use 1 to pass this, though, and then get him back. And I don't recover any lost character back to play. If available, you do not recover any lost notoriety. It says fail and sacrifice Professor Aeronax character if available, or gain 1d3 notoriety. Okay, we'll do that. So I am going to wager Nemo for 2, and I'll wager the crew for 3. That gives us a +5 against an 11. If I have to, I can re-roll or sacrifice one of my crew members. If I sacrifice Aeronax, or rather, I will gain 1 notoriety, but then gain him back based on that. If I fail against him, I'll get a D3 notoriety, so that's worse. So let's see what we get here. Oh my god, a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need a +3 somehow. +3. You know, I think I'm going to wait. On this, we can't use treasures, I don't think. I can re-roll, though. So I am going to burn... Oh, man, that's 4 cards. 4 points to gain a re-roll. I have another one. Yeah, we're going to use it, though. I'm going to retain this, but I'm going to use it to get 1 re-roll or keep for 4. I'm going to use it to re-roll. Okay, let's see what we get. 6, 7. There we go. 8, 9, 10. Okay, we got a 12 that time, so we passed. Didn't have to sacrifice Aeronax, and I won't lose any points. So we just get, we're going to pass this and immediately return 1 previously sacrificed one. We don't have any. I'm just going to put that in the pass pile, which will give us a victory point later. And I get to recover both my crew and Nemo. And that was our, okay, that was our adventure. So let's keep going with our actions now. We're already at the dice bowl, so I'll roll for our placement phase. What do we get? Well, okay, well, we're going to have 1 action. We're going to place on 2, 3, and 4. Well, on 2 we got an open spot right here, but on 3 we don't. So we're going to end up replacing this one, and on 4, yeah, we can put one in the in Cape Horn. So we're just going to put a ship out here. I got the ship bag out. We're going to get warships sooner or later, and wow, we did not gain a warship. We got the City of Adelaide, a mail ship, is going right here. Okay, all those warships we put in there, we haven't pulled any of them out yet. That is insane. Now we also then gain our whopping 1 action. Okay, well, since we're in the Indian Ocean, I think we're going to search. Yeah, we'll search. We can exert any 1 ship resource, so we'll exert our crew again to gain a +3 to search. And we'll search for this treasure right here, which will consume our 1 action. Okay, what do we get? A 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 1 down. So you know what? The easiest one to I do not want to fail this roll. So right now we're at a 7. I need 1 more to succeed. That gives us but it's going to raise our notoriety, or I could go up much more than that, but I think I'm not. I am going to actually sacrifice Ned Land. Boom. He would have given us 4 victory points at the end of the game, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to sacrifice him and take the notoriety hit, so it's going to give us 1 notoriety up to 16, but I'm going to pass this, which is going to give me another notoriety, unfortunately, and give me the treasure. So our notoriety is up to 17, but I do get this treasure. And so I'm going to get the treasure bag, and we're going to draw that out and see what we get. Now, Ned is dead unless I get something like the card I just had. It's too bad we didn't have that happen already. But let's see, what do we get in treasure? We're going to get a +3. So we got another +3 treasure in our pile. And then that was basically the entire turn for us, because we only had the 1 action, so we're at 0 again. Let's go back. But before I do that, I think we're going to hit this one with the steam torpedoes and see what it is. Hopefully it's not a big bad warship, because our hull is damaged. But we're going to do that. So let's reveal this one, see what we get. We're going to shoot our torpedoes at it. It does not require an action, but it does require... Look at that. We are so unbelievably lucky. And this is going to give us a treasure. We found a whaler. So we are going to hit the gang, or gange, with our torpedoes. Let's go do that. Okay, my rolls have been turning, but we're fine. We rolled a 7, so we destroyed the whaler. Once again, I am forced to make a decision. If I take the whaler, either way I'm gaining the notoriety, so our notoriety goes up to 18. If I salvage the whaler, I'm going to get nothing, but it'll be salvage. It'll give me 2. I can get the arcane library back. If I do a refit action. However, if I don't, I get a treasure if I just salvage this in the Indian Ocean. Now, we already have a ship here in the Indian Ocean. It would give me 2. I don't think... I don't think we're going to... I think what we're going to do is we're going to salvage it. I'm not going to take the extra treasure because now I have 2 salvage and can get the arcane library back. Okay, and that is our torpedo. So I am going to put that away for now. And I think that will... Well, we don't have any actions. I'd have to burn something to get another action at this point. So let's just draw our next card. All right, here we go. What do we got? Vigo Bay. It's a keeper. Great. This was the scene of the battle of the 22nd of October, 1702. Here, galleons laden for the Spanish government had sunk. Here, Captain Nemo came according to his wants to pack up those millions with which he burdened the Nautilus. So, lots of treasure. When the Nautilus is in the North Atlantic, which we could easily get to this turn, because we can, well, not this turn. We have to move to, well, we could actually get there. Or the European seas. Okay, we could get to the European seas in one action. You may fail and collect 1 treasure, and continue collecting treasure 1 at a time until you draw a wonder or retain token, at which time you keep that token and stop drawing. So you may draw and collect 1 treasure, continue collecting. So we draw a treasure, then we continue collecting 1 at a time until we draw a wonder or retain. It says continue collecting. So I'm going to assume you don't, it doesn't say put them back. You keep the token and stop drawing. Okay. at which time you keep the token. I got to think about this one. Does that mean that that's weirdly written? It doesn't say you give up the tokens you already collected. It says you collect the token at that time. So I'm a little confused on that treasure card a bit. Anyway, I'm going to put that aside. It's a keep. We're going to see where we go. We got to roll our placement phase regardless. So let's go do that now. Okay, so what do we get? We got well, we're going to have, good, we got 3 actions. We're going to place in 2, 5, and 6. Okay, so we have a ship in 2, but it's full. However, we can place it in the Central Pacific. And then we got 5 is full, and we can place one in the Indian Ocean. And then the Indian Ocean is 6, so we'll place one there. So it is full of unrevealed ships again. And then we get our 3 actions. So I think for our first action, well, I'm debating. I could move and try this Vigo Bay, but I don't really understand this card completely. So if I fail, I'm going to collect a treasure. Boom, got that. That's easy. Then I'm going to continue collecting. It says that. One at a time. So if I don't run into a wonder or retain, I'm going to keep, the way I read this, I'm going to keep collecting it. Then when I hit a wonder or retain, I'm going to keep that token and stop drawing. So that's what I'm going to do. Why wouldn't I do that? So for my first action of 3, I am going to move. I can't get to the European seas, actually. I can go to the North Atlantic or the European seas. Wait, I can't get there, can I? Not that easily. Nope, we're going to hold on to it. I can't get there quite yet. So my 3 actions, what will I do? I think I am going to move. I'm going to take a move action for 1. And we're going to move to here and to here. Remember, I have my hydro drive, so I can move there to go after some treasure. That gives me 2 actions. For the next action, I believe I'm going to search that space. I don't know what this Explorer motive, should I be taking adventure cards or not? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to exert my crew to adventure there. Or I could stop and do a refit, get that arcane library up, which would help with these searches. Gives me +1. But that would take both my actions. Refit, I could end up gaining upgrades for 1 fewer salvage too. I don't know. I think I'm going to do that actually. I'm going to use both of my actions instead of gaining that and exert my crew, which I can do. I can exert any 1 ship resource. And I get +X for any 1 treasure. I can use the treasure for VPs to do this. And I'm going to refit. Just for reference, I'm now in the South Atlantic. I'd move 2 over to the South Atlantic. I currently have +3. I rolled a 6. That's a 9. That's going to be good for us. On a 9 to 11, I gain the upgrade. So I gain the upgrade, which is going to mean these 2 ships are salvaged. They're gone. And I'm going to collect the arcane library and put it into play, giving us the +1 die roll modifier on search or insights. So that is a nice card for us to have. I think that's valuable. Now, I have 0 actions, so we're going to draw our next card and see what we get. Okay, it says Torres Straits. Okay, the Torres Straits are nearly 34 leagues wide, but they are obstructed by an innumerable quantity of islands, islets, breakers, and rocks. The Nautilus, floating betwixt wind and water, went at a moderate pace. Her screw, like Cetacean's, yeah, I think that's right, Cetacean's tail, beat the waves slowly. Again, some of these are really hard to read for me. Sorry, guys. Okay, this is a keep. Immediately after moving between the Indian Ocean and Western Pacific, either way, you may perform a test for +1 notoriety. The test is only 7. We can sacrifice hull. If we succeed, we receive +2 action points this turn. That's pretty good. Okay, so we have that. We got all these keep cards that we're building up, and that is our adventure card for the turn. And now we're going to go roll for our placement phase. Okay, let's see what we get. Well, man, that's going to be a 5 action turn, and we're going to place on 1, 4, and 6. 5 actions. That is awesome. Okay, now 1 is full, and actually every place out. No, wait, we can place here from the. So we're going to place 1 in the Central Pacific. That is 1. So 4, however, yeah, 4 and 5, we have no options but to reveal ships. Okay, so we're going to reveal a ship in the South Atlantic, and we're going to, is that 4? Yeah, and we're going to reveal another ship in the European seas. Let's see what we get here. Okay, for the South Atlantic, we are going to get, our first one of the blue ones too. This is a nasty one. A steam cruiser, the Idaho. It's got an attack value of 9 and a 9 for us to destroy it. That means if it rolls a 9 or less, it's going to hit us. That's pretty bad. And then up in the European seas, what do we get? That's probably the worst ship we've had come up. I probably want to use a torpedo on it, right? And then up here we get the Fulmer, a freighter that is a non-warship. Okay, and then we get to take 5 actions. That is outstanding. So I think for the first of our 5 actions, I think we're going to repair, because I believe we're going to have to do some level of fighting. We get -1 if there's any warships, so I might move first. Where do I need to go for some of these cards? I need to go to the North Atlantic, the South Atlantic. Oh, okay. Yeah, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to spend my first action to move. We're going to move up to the North Atlantic. Oh wait, we're in the South Atlantic. Screw that. The heck with that. I'm not going to use that point to move. I'm going to use this card. Okay, when the Nautilus is in the South Atlantic, pass this. You may pass this and, as a free action, move to any other ocean except for the European seas and Arctic Ocean. So we're going to do that. We're going to take that one and we're going to pass it. That's going to give us a point at the end. I think it's just going to give us a point. Nope, it's going to give us a +4 science times 4. So it's going to give us 4 points. And then we can. I'm thinking of going to this Vigo Bay in the North Atlantic. Now we could just move there, but maybe I'm burning that card uselessly. Or we could go to the Indian Ocean, which is 2 away. I mean, the only advantage is I can move there and not burn a... Yeah, we're going to do that. Boom. Okay. Then we are in the North Atlantic, so I got a couple things I can do. I have this the transatlantic cable. I thought that said tentacle cable. Sorry, guys. It's hard to read the text. I don't know if you can see it well on the camera. Transatlantic cable. And it says, when the Nautilus is in the North Atlantic, you may fail and immediately perform a free insight and or search action, but no more than 3 combined for each one you gain, +1 notoriety. So I can do up to 3 free. So I haven't done an insight action yet. We could give that a try. It's a dice roll, but if we roll badly, we're going to get... Oh, we can reduce our notoriety. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play this card in the North Atlantic where I'm at. There are no warships. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else with insight that I have to worry about. Not right now. So we're going to do that. And the first thing we're going to do, so I fail it to do this. So we're going to fail that. And remember, each one I use, I gain a notoriety. So for the first one, I think we're going to do our first insight action. Okay. Here is the insight table. It says I can exert a ship's resource, any one ship's resource, which I'll probably do. I'll do crew because it's giving us +3. I also get +1, so it's giving us +4 because of the arcane library. Then I can spend treasure VP's value. There's the arcane library. Then there's sunken treasure fleet, which I don't have. -1 per ship token. There is a ship token there. So before I play this card, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use the torpedoes to sink the ship that's there. So I'm going to place that right there, and we're going to try and knock down the city of Adelaide. So far, I haven't used an action. Oh, no problem. We totally wiped it out. I'm going to put that in tonnage, though. Nah, I don't know. Do I put it in tonnage, guys, or do I put it in salvage? I mean, we're up to here, and that's not going to help us unless we follow these up, and I'm not trying to go for war, so I think I will take this as salvage, but then it's going to increase our notoriety up to 20, so we are getting too notorious. Way too notorious, but we're going to get to knock some of that down, I think. We'll see. Okay, so we successfully used our torpedo. Now we're going to insight, and it's not going to cost us an action. We're going to use, again, we wagered our crew for +3, so we're going to get +3 here, +1 for our arcane library, and no minus for the revealed ship that was there. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, we killed it. We're going to get a 9. Now remember, I am going to get +1 notoriety for the card for doing that, but we're going to lose -2 notoriety for the revolt. Totally max this out because I had 9 plus we wagered crew for 3, so that gives us an 11. Wait, sorry, 9. No, it gives us 12. Yeah, duh. Got to do math, Doug. Okay, that means we're going to take one of our cubes here and we're going to place it. We're also going to lose 2 notoriety. We incited a revolt here in the for the Mexican independence here in the North Atlantic. Okay, that was one action. So basically, we gained 1, but we lost 2. So we're down to 19 on the notoriety track. So here's how it works. I gained 1 for the card for using that free action. Then I lose 2 for the insight action. Okay, I think we're going to do that again. Why the heck not? That works so well. We're going to do that. We're going to keep wagering our crew. That gives us a +3, so we got a +4. Let's roll. Okay. Well, we did 4. That's an 8. Sorry, that's a 4. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we did it again. That is going to put us down 2 more because I already spent the 1. And we're going to get to take our cube, and we're going to cause the Cuba and Puerto Rico revolt right there. So we got 2 of those cubes out there right now, and it's reducing our notoriety just a little bit. I can do this. I can't do that again, but I can search for treasure, which would increase our notoriety 1 more, and we're going to roll +4 again because we can exert our crew. I think we'll do that because there is a treasure in the space. So we're going to search. Again, I haven't used any. I still have 5 actions. This is pretty awesome. Okay, we're going to get +4. Oh, look at that. Boom! We're going to get a treasure like crazy. So we searched. We're going to collect 2 treasures, but we do gain a notoriety for using the card. So we're back up to 19, but we got 2 treasures coming to us. Hopefully they'll be good. I don't know how much this notoriety is going to kill me in the end, but it might. Anyway, our first treasure, oh, it's another wonder. That's fantastic. The Great Barrier Reef. We have discovered the Great Barrier Reef, and then I got 1 more. And that gives us a 3-point treasure token. Fantastic. Okay, and we're in the North Atlantic. So that was the transatlantic cable card. So we failed that card. Now, I still have Vigo Bay, which is a pretty beefy one. And I think we're going to do this. Even though it's worth 6 adventure points. Well, 6 adventure gives us 4. I don't know if we want to do that. If we have it at the end of the game, we pass. Because if you look at our adventure's 0 each. So yeah, that's worth 6 points, but we could get much more than that in treasure. So we're going to burn this in the North Atlantic to fail it. And that means we're going to first draw 1 treasure, and then we're going to keep drawing. So it says +1, you may collect 1 treasure. Boom. Okay, here's the first one. It is a retain, but it doesn't count because it's the first one we drew. So it's going to be X to reroll or 4 victory points. We gain that one back. So reading the card again, it says you may fail and collect +1 treasure. Continue collecting treasure 1 at a time until you receive a wonder or a retain. So let's see what we get next. Boom. It is neither. It is a 3-point victory point treasure, so we're going to keep that. And we're going to go again because we haven't drawn 1 yet. And then the next one is a 2-point. We're getting incredibly lucky, so we just got 5 points off this Vigo Bay thing. Wow. Then the next one is a wonder. So we're going to stop here and keep this one. We found the Mariana Trench, and that is going to stop the Vigo Bay card. So that is the end of it. So it says, at which time you keep the token and stop drawing once you get a wonder or a retain card. And if at the end of the game we would have got 6 points, but we did much better than that off that card. And we still have our 5 actions. So what are we going to do with our 5 actions? Now, I'm leaving my torpedo out so I don't forget that I've used it already. Okay, let's see. I don't want to sink any ships. I could use some. You know what? We're going to spend 2 of our 5 points, going down to 3 to adventure. We're going to stay here. We're going to draw an adventure card off this pile. We haven't done that yet. What do we get? The Chinese treasure fleet. Okay. Mr. M. Anarax, a century before Europe's age of exploration. The Ming Emperor achieved suzerainty with the voyages of his great treasure fleet. Okay, China was a preeminent naval power, and I am charting their routes to the southwest of China. So, place a treasure available token in each of the Western, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Well, good news is we do not have a treasure in the Western Pacific. No, we do, but not in the Indian Ocean. Okay, so I put one in the Indian Ocean. And it says, if the Nautilus is in or a single move action away from either of these oceans, pass and collect 1 treasure. So am I 1 away? No, I am not. I am 2 away. Otherwise, fail and gain 1 Nemo or 1 crew. Okay. Well, we can't get the treasure because the Western Pacific is 2 away. Not 1. A single move action away. So, I wonder if this counts. Here's one. Okay, so, here we go. Each time you perform a move action, you can move the Nautilus up to 2 consecutive oceans. so technically the Western Pacific is a single ocean away, a single move action away from me because of the hydro drive. Is that cheating? I don't know. So if the Nautilus is in or a single move action away, it is a single move action away from me because of the hydro drive. I'll show you what I'm talking about. The Nautilus with a single move action can move 2 oceans. Boom, boom, right? So I could move to here, to the Western Ocean, in a single move because of this. So I'm going to say that that is accurate, that as a single move action I can get that. So I can gain a treasure. I can pass this and gain a treasure. I'd rather pass it because it also gives us points at the end. So I'm going to pass that. I'm going to get the treasure bag out. We're going to gain 1 more treasure. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that seems like it's pretty clear to me. I just want to be sure. And then it says, okay, X this to draw 2 treasure tokens. Fantastic. I will do that. Oh god, X this and gain 2 notoriety. That's bad. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, we're up to 21 now. That wasn't good. I didn't like that at all. Okay, let's draw another treasure token, see what we get. We get a plus 0 treasure, but it's going to be worth 1 for me. So that is the end of that card, our adventure. So now I still have 3 actions left, and I do think we are going to pair the Nautilus. I am going to wager crew for 3 on that, and then we're going to roll some dice. I need to get some hull back. Let's do that. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's really good. That was a 10. I'm doing crazy math again. It was a 10. Anyway, it's a 9 to 11 regardless. So on a repair, we're going to gain 1 hull. So that was worth it. We gained 1 hull. We're down. We still have 1 action left. I think I'm going to hold on to it in case we have a lull turn. Then I can do another repair. So that's going to end that turn. That was a really good turn for us, guys. And I still have these Torres Straits, which I can go to the Western Pacific in a turn or 2 and try and pull that one off. But we're going to draw our next card and see what we get. The South Pole. Okay, this is a keep. To overcome all obstacles around the South Pole, even more unattainable than the North Pole, which still hadn't been reached by the boldest navigators. Wasn't this an absolutely insane undertaking, one that could occur only in the brain of a madman? Keep. When the Nautilus is in the South Atlantic, you may spend 2 actions, or only 1 action during a lull turn, and gain 1 notoriety to pass. Okay, so we're going to keep that. That's our card for the turn. And we're going to take our actions. We're going to go roll for our placement phase. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, man, I thought it was a lull turn at first, but it's not. We're only going to have one action, unfortunately, and we're going to place in 4, 5, and 5. Okay, well, 4 and its surrounding areas are full, so we're going to have to place 1 up in 3 where we destroyed that 1 ship. And then 5 is full both places. There's nowhere for anything to go for 5, so we're going to take 2 of those, and we're going to put out 2 new ships. So the first ship that's going to come out is another non-combatant. It is the Mary Celeste, which is actually really good. It's a ghost ship. Okay, that's interesting. And it gives us some extra points there. And then the next one is, again, man, look at this, no warships. The Triumph, which is a whaler, which is going to give me +1 treasure if I attack that there. Okay, that is the end of that. Now I have 1 action, which means I have 2 total actions. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? I'm going to spend both of those to, I think, adventure. Or I could repair again and get that, get the hull back up in some tip-top shape. Or I could move and incite 1. Inciting was helpful because it reduced our... Yeah, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move 1. I'm going to move over to... Well, hold on. We're going to get -1 for each ship revealed. So I don't want to do that. So, but remember, I can move 2. Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. A couple places I went up is I went up in the South Atlantic and the Western Pacific. So we're going to move for 1 action. I'm going to take it over to here, to the Western Pacific. That's 1 full action. Now I'm in the Western Pacific, so I can do this Torres Straits check here. And it says immediately after moving between the Indian... No, that's not right. Sorry. And that's that I can't do, and I can't do the other one. So what are we going to do while we're in the Western Pacific? Well, with my one action, I can search for the treasure, I suppose. There's no revealed ships. I can do that. Let's do that. We're going to burn our action, and we're going to search for treasure. I will obviously wager the crew on that, so they get a +3/+1 for our upgrade, our Arcane Library upgrade, and we're going to search for this treasure. Okay, here we go. Oh, 4. Okay, well, we're still going to pass. That's an 8. So an 8 on a search, though, means that we are suspect and we're going to gain a notoriety. I'm not going to burn a treasure token for that. So this is going to go up to 22. I remove the treasure token from the space, and we draw another treasure token. And I've got a lot of treasure tokens up. That is awesome. I was about to draw a ship. Okay, let's see what we get here with the treasure tokens. We get a +2 treasure, 2-point treasure. Bam! Okay, that is the end of the round for us. We are out of actions, so I'm going to take this steam torpedo back. I should have taken it last time, but we are in the Western Pacific. We are going to then draw our next adventure card. First, I got to refresh that, put that back, and oh, it's Act 3. So we're going to wait. I'm going to put that there. We're not going to go any further. We're going to stop at that point, and that is going to be the end of our turns. I hope I did everything right. I did catch the corrections from last turn, try and correct the course as much as possible. And I think I need to get some more insight tokens out on the board before our next uprising or our next lull turn, because then there's an uprising, and I can get some. I think I can get some benefits from that. I haven't done that yet, but I think there's some big benefits to uprising during a lull phase. You might lose the cubes. I don't want to lose the cubes because they give me bonuses. So anyway, guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the feedback on this. Again, this is the first time I played it, and I am trying to do the Explorer motive, but I probably botched that a little bit by sinking a whole bunch of ships early on. I'm trying to correct course on that now, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to change my motive later or not. And if I don't, I'm probably just going to get a mediocre score for this first one, but that's okay. I'm also telling a cool story of Nemo floating around in the oceans, right? So guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I will talk to you next time.